Hello everyone, this is Ifoma DK. Happy New Year to everyone. I decided to do this video today because it's the 1st of 2017 and so much happened in 2016 that I think it would be a disservice for us not to talk about 2016 and some of the things that happened, reflect and then decide on how we want to be in this new year, because I think it's very, very important that we do that, because so many things happened in 2016 that I would think that we as human beings are better than that. But unfortunately, it turned out that, hey, I may have been wrong, and so I'm hoping that this will be something that we can have a conversation. I don't know how that will work, but I'm hoping we can talk through 2016 so that 2017 will obviously work for all of us. So this is new. This is one of my New Year goals, because I decided not to have New Year resolutions. I'm only going to do New Year goals. Resolutions are okay if you think you're doing something bad. Maybe that's why no one ever keeps them, because a resolution, as I checked, is what is it? It's a resolve to change an undesired trait or behavior. And so because of that, to say you have a New Year resolution, it must mean that you were doing something bad or something unattractive and that you want to change. But to have a goal or a New Year goal instead, it will be that you know that you're not perfect, but you have decided that this is a new year and you're going to do things differently. So I'm hoping that this new year, I'm going to have New Year goals. And this is one of my goals, to put out videos like this where we will discuss different things that affect each and every one of us. So that's it. New series. It's called Can We Talk? Today, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Brexit. Okay, yeah, new word. Britain leaving the EU. Now, what is so fascinating about this Brexit is I think it was the start of something that we haven't seen happen in a while. When Britain decided to leave the EU, that's when this whole rise in populism began. So it is important that we go back to actually understand what actually happened and why it even happened in the first place. Last year in 2016, Britain decided to leave the EU. Now, what is most interesting about that is Britain deciding to leave the EU was kind of strange at first. Like, why would they even have a referendum to actually leave the EU when this is a small country that has been able to do a lot of things by being united with other nations? So why would you even want to put up such a referendum in the first place? But hey, it kind of happened, and to the surprise of everybody, they decided to leave the EU. And it got me thinking, why have we all of a sudden begun to be very self-centered and looking inward, as opposed to being together and being a part of something? Because let's think about it. Why would Britain, yeah, we all know the stories of, oh yeah, they give more money to the EU than they receive, which after the fact was wrong, or the whole populism theory where it was a case of, oh, there are all these immigrants coming into the country, and so for that reason we should leave the EU. But it doesn't make any sense. Would you say, oh, you don't want to be I don't know, how would I say, because people are coming into your country, and so for that reason you want to shut out your gate and just be by yourself? Does that make any sense? If you think too many people are coming into your country and for that reason you want to leave the EU, why don't you just increase border control? You don't have to leave the EU just because people are coming into your country. That's not how it works. Because the funny thing is, even leaving the EU doesn't mean people won't still come into your country. So to think that that was the reason why a lot of people wanted to leave the EU has to actually give a lot of people, as in we have to sit down and actually think about it. But it happened. Shows that a lot of people are becoming more selfish instead of selfless. And I get it, yes, people are worse off now than they were before, but it's not because people came into your country. I think that's one of the mistakes that our generation is facing right now. A lot of people are thinking, oh, the world is in chaos and is going through this populism trend or whatever it is because there are more people coming into their country that they do not want. That's not the reason. The real reason, if we want to be honest in all of this, is technology. Yes, technology has slowly but surely eroded a lot of our institutions and the way we do things, that a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is too much change. And because of that, they're revolting against everything that they believe in, all their values, all their morals, everything, just because technology has taken over. It's not to shut someone out of your country by voting to leave the EU. That everyone is in your country. The fact that you can actually just put up a Facebook live video and it's being viewed by people all over the world is already showing you the kind of problems we do have. It's not somebody physically being in your country is the problem. No, that's not the problem. Problem is technology has come in and taken over how we do things, how we travel, how we communicate with people, how we do business, the kind of jobs we have these days, everything. And so because of that, people are being vulnerable, or for lack of a better word, they don't quite understand what is happening. And because people are not out there pointing out to the fact that this is exactly what is happening, people are then beginning to revolt against each other. Everyone is talking about the rise of populism and the fact that, it's a movement that is happening and everyone is trying to understand what this is all about. Like I said before, the internet messed everything up. Populism is the political ideas and activities that are intended to get the support of ordinary people by giving them what they want. Meaning, we can't have populism if the people are not getting what they want. So that's even the first instance. And when they say someone is populist, I like that dictionary meaning better, because they say when someone is a populist, like some people claim Donald Trump is, it's a member of a political party claiming to represent the common people. Now that's a perfect example of what I mean. He's a populist because he's claiming to represent the ordinary person or the common people, but it doesn't mean he's actually one of them. So we as individuals, we should be able to read between the lines. We have to stop voting against our own interests. That has to stop. We can't say that, oh yes, government is for the people and by the people, and then when it is time for us to vote, instead of us to vote for values and morals that we believe in and that we support and we like, that are representative of us, no, we'll then go and vote for someone that is saying something that we want to hear. We have to stop being fooled by people. No. Actions speak louder than words. If someone has defrauded someone in the past, what you want to tell me that the person is not going to defraud someone else in the future? That's just common sense, especially when the person is 70 years old. Come on. We've seen how New Year resolutions go. You can't even keep it for 1 month. So when someone shows you who they are, believe them. So to think that everyone voted for Donald Trump instead of Hillary because, Donald Trump is a man of the people, he doesn't have any emails, or he's saying, we're going to bring back jobs, we're going to do this, and then you forget all the things that he has done prior to telling you he's going to bring back jobs. As he's saying he's going to bring back jobs, did he actually tell you how he's going to bring back the jobs? No. But he just said so. And you're like, oh, yes, we're going to bring back jobs. When the question should be like, how are you going to bring back jobs? Especially in the age of technology. We're going to bring the coal mining jobs. In the 21st century, where we have like nuclear powering even more plants than coal, how are you going to bring back those jobs? Unfortunately, we have to understand technology has taken over some of these jobs. Do not be deceived by people. There are jobs that are just not going to come back. It's just like saying, oh, I'm going to be this travel agent that'll be writing tickets in my office. That is long gone. Anyone that wants to be a travel agent now in this 21st century is wasting their time. The internet has taken over. I can sit on my couch and book my ticket, my accommodation, everything online. I don't need some second person that is going to charge me extra to do things I can do by myself from my sitting room on my phone. So don't be deceived, people. Don't let this populism nonsense deceive you or fool you. Technology has taken over, and that's the reason why we don't have all the kind of jobs that we used to have in the past that pay very good money, because robots are doing those jobs these days and they're far cheaper because, first of all, they don't complain. Second of all, they work 24/7. They don't take holidays. They do not go have weekends. All they do is work. That's what they're built to do. So don't let any politician fool you. And this is even in my own country, like in Nigeria. That's the same way this new person was elected. Oh, we're going to make everything great. And now we're seeing that, oh my God, we still don't have any money. There is still no jobs. People are still unemployed. And we're wondering like, but he said he was going to make everything right. That's it. Nothing is going to make it right. We need to change our skill sets. That's what is going to do it. To say, oh, we're going to voting someone that is going to magically make everything work out for everyone is an illusion. Do not be deceived. This is 2017. For all those countries, France, Germany, that have elections coming, don't let those politicians fool you. They fooled some of us and we're paying for it right now. So you guys that still have a chance, do not fall for that bullshit. There is no job that is coming back. You are the one that is going to go and create it. We're living in an age where people are going to begin to create the jobs that they want. So if you think that, oh yes, you don't have a job, go and create something. Go and think up an idea. Go and look for like a technology that has not yet been invented and see if you can be the one to bring it to life. That is where we're going. No one is going to hire you to come and sit down in their office and then take their money at the end of the month. Nobody is doing that anymore. And the sooner we as individuals get it, the better for all of us. So enough with all this ranting. Populism is a myth. There is no such thing. It is technology that is taking over. And one other thing that is even so compelling in this case is, if you look at the situation of Brexit and the US election, you will see just how much technology has actually advanced. To think that all the so-called fake news and all those false news articles that were showing up in Facebook and all those places were actually being propagated by bots. Meaning they were being spread by all these are robots or like algorithm or whatever it is. They're not human beings that were actually doing more damage than good. To think that it is technology that actually made all of that happen is just amazing, as to the fact that, come on people, we got to wake up. If you do not have the skills for the new age, you're going to be left behind. And it's not because of your government. It's because technology has come to stay. So you have to find something that you can do in order to make sure that you're not left behind. That's it. That's the honest truth. Let's go straight to where the problem is. It's not of all this talking, everyone saying, oh yes, she should have gone to Wisconsin, or Brexit, David Cameron was the one that caused it to fail. None of that is true. All of these decisions was as a result, or it was partially influenced by technology, if you consider how much work the bots had to do with it, by spreading all the fake news or all the propaganda that eventually confirmed a lot of people's bias. And then because of fear, people went and voted against their own interest. So this is 2017. We're not going to have any of that. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this in the first place. Good idea, Ify, but get us to Nigerian topics. Oh yes, come to think of it, let's talk about Nigeria. It's the same problem, because if you come to think about it, having no jobs, or when everyone is shouting jobs, jobs, right? They're shouting jobs because that is what directly affects them in terms of their ability to earn. So let's take it point by point. You earn a living by the work that you do, or creating value in general. But now what has happened is technology has then come and taken away the jobs, which is the means by which a lot of people up until now have been their means of livelihood. Everyone, as I'm saying, in the whole world is actually going to go through this problem, whether now or in the future, because technology is beginning to take over all the little jobs that we usually would do by ourselves. So how are we going to do this? This is the age of the entrepreneur. And I'm not saying this because, oh yes, disclosure, I am an entrepreneur. I do not have a job. But that's because I tried to get a job for a while, and then I realized that, oh my God, there are no jobs out there. You can try, like, trust me. People that know me know that when it comes to being academic, I try my best. And when it comes to doing the work as well, I also make sure that I put in my very best at whatever that I do, whether it's academics, whether it's work, whether it's being out there, whatever it is that I do, I try to be the best in whatever it is that I do. So people know that for me to say I am an entrepreneur, and it's one of the reasons why I became an entrepreneur, was because I actually studied, but I couldn't find a job. And that is what the problem is right now. In Nigeria, as I'm talking to you, a lot of people do not have jobs. The people that even have jobs are not guaranteed that their jobs are going to stay. And one of the reasons, as I have been saying from the beginning, is because of technology. So now that we know what the problem is, what are the solutions? One of the things I have also taught myself to do in the last year is I have gotten some computer training. Yes, now I can build websites, I can build apps. So if you're thinking, oh, because I read psychology, what has that got to do with me building apps? I'm thinking in the future, I know that the kind of work I'm going to get in the near future is not one where I'm going to be in one office sitting down. It's because I'm going to be able to propagate the technological innovation that is currently going on. So Nigerians or people, wherever you are, it doesn't matter where you are, you have to look to the future. What are the skills that are going to be required for the future? As I'm speaking to you, a lot of people are saying they don't have jobs, but if you go and check the number of openings for technological based skills jobs, you find that there are so many openings and so many vacancies, but there's no one to fill them. Why? Because there's no one that has the skill set that is required for that kind of job. So getting a job is not the problem, is whether or not you have the skills to actually do the jobs that are available. And that's what a lot of people are now beginning to realize, that, oh my God, I really need to go back to school, or I really need to go online and learn a new skill, or I really need to find a way to do something that is different from how things have been done in the past. And that I understand. That's where a lot of people have that challenge, and they're looking for someone to blame. For some people, they're blaming their government. For some people, they're blaming their House of Rep, or their governor, or their president, or for even others, they're blaming other nations or other entities, like in the case of Britain and the EU. The EU is not your problem. Technology is your problem. So now that I have been able to at least tell you what the problem is, I have been able to also help you understand how you can, or what you can do in order to acquire the skills of the future. Technology is here to stay for all of those that don't realize that it's not going away. And the only thing we can do is we can try our best to make sure that we evolve as the times evolve. That's the only way that it's going to happen. For Nigeria, we have so many problems, but if we begin to look at things in this light, it will help us, because the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, yes, we do not, for us in Nigeria, unfortunately, we have been an import-dependent nation. So now we're going to be looking to go back to being able to, even if we cannot export, at least, even if we can at least produce what we want in order to sustain ourselves, that would be a first step. So we don't need to try and import everything from all these various nations. We have to begin to look inward in terms of developing our own nation in order to be self-sustainant. That's one of the things that is going to help us in the moving forward, especially in 2017. And you can see it. There's no magic to it. We all just have to change the way we think and the way we do things. So we talked about populism, we've talked about technology, and the many things that it's done in 2016, and it's even going to do more in 2017. So beware and be prepared. And one last thing I'm going to briefly touch on is terrorism, which is another thing. We've seen this increase in terrorist activities all over the world, and it is not just in Germany or Turkey or everywhere, even in Africa, even in Nigeria with Boko Haram and all the things that are happening in the north. But it is clear for us to understand why it is happening. Up until now, we're just saying, oh yes, there's a terrorist attack, oh yes, but we have to understand the underlying fundamentals of terrorism. Terrorism is the use of violent acts to fighting people in an area in order to achieve a political goal. So what does that tell you right there in the definition? A lot of these people in the north, they're trying to cause us to live in fear. And that's even one of the reasons why I would say the populist movement is actually on the increase. We're beginning to become fear mongers. We're beginning to live in fear, which is something that is very dangerous, because when you're living in fear as opposed to living in love, you're bound to make a lot of mistakes. Because think about it, right? If you were in a situation where you had to make a decision, you need to be sure that at the point you're making that decision, you're actually thinking clearly. But if you're thinking out of fear, you're just going to do the next rash things, which might unfortunately not be in your own interest. There are a lot of people that have died, not because like the terrorists actually attacked them. They actually died because they were running away from fear. They don't even know what is happening. How many times have we been in a situation where we just saw people running and the next thing we ourselves just started running? Why are you running? You don't know. You just saw many people running. Unfortunately, that is what is happening in the world right now. People are just doing things out of fear. If you ask them, why are you doing what you're doing? They actually don't know. They're just doing it because everyone else is doing it. So that's why we need to take a pause and understand what is fueling this. People are not just blowing themselves up because they just want to blow themselves up. I don't want to agree that humanity has become so, I don't know, we so hate ourselves so much that we'll just go into a nightclub and just start shooting people. That doesn't make any sense. We internally, we are actually individuals that love one another. So I don't want to believe that a guy will actually wake up in the morning and say, okay, you know what, today I'm going to kill 30 people. Yes, I understand there are some people that may think like that because maybe they have nothing to lose, but the majority of us actually don't wake up in the morning and say we're going to kill tens of thousands of people. There's a reason why they have continued to do that, and that's because we have started becoming a fascist people. We've started becoming people that if we don't agree with them or they look different from us, instead of us being able to talk to one another and actually listen to what each other have to say, we demonize them, or we say, oh, you're not like us, you can't sit with us. That kind of mentality is not going to help us, because, oh yes, you can't sit with us, right? Don't worry. Share is when you have a place to sit down that you will be you be saying you can't sit with us. And that is what is happening right now. We have become so elitist in ourselves and in what we believe in that we have now secluded a particular religion, or we've secluded a particular race, or we've secluded a type of people. And because of that, those people will be like, oh, but we're human beings as well. Instead of you to embrace them, you have pushed them away. And that's what they're doing is because those so-called terrorist groups have said, oh, don't worry, they're saying you're not the same as them. Come, we will embrace you, we will love you. But in return, you pledge allegiance to go back out there and destroy those same people that said you're not like them. So that is what is fueling terrorism. Because I'm sure that if we all loved one another, there's no one that is going to blow anybody up. But because we have decided that, oh, you're not my brother, you're not my sister, instead of being each other's keeper, that is what is actually fueling the terrorism and the populist movement that we're seeing happen right now. So I'm hoping that as we've looked back at 2016, in 2017, we will begin to love one another. It's very important, trust me. Love trumps hate. Every day, all day, 24/7. You can't tell me that fear and hate is better than love. Hell to the no. I refuse to believe that. No matter what anyone tells you, love still triumphs hate any day of the week. Be it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, even on Friday or Sunday. Love still is going to be what is going to bring us out of all of this. Unity, we have to come together. We have to talk to one another. We can't keep telling people that, oh, you're a Muslim and I'm a Christian, so because of that, we don't serve the same God. Who told you so? Like, you don't know which God is actually the real one. So why don't we all just put our differences aside? And if you want to check, right? If you want us to go to the bottom of it, all of this so-called rise of populism and even the US election, why was evil able to prevail? Because instead of us coming together and saying we are one people, we are one nation, what did we do? We went into different corners and say, oh, you're the Remain camp, or you're the Leave camp. No, we're one nation, one. It's not like the people that voted to leave or remain, they're two different Britons. No, it's the same Great Britain or United Kingdom, or if you will, whichever you decide to call them. And it's not like, oh yes, saying they're no longer part of the EU, does that make them not world citizens? Of course, we all still live in one world, one. There's only one planet, people. There's only one planet. So for us to be having all these grandeur ideas of, oh, because you're not like me, I cannot relate to you. That is what is causing our problems. So this is a year of love. As I have decided, 2017, a year of love, a year of inclusion. We cannot continue to divide each other. Divided we fall, united we stand. There's a reason why people come together. There's strength in numbers. We all have to come together in order to solve the world's problems, because at the end of the day, who does it affect? All of us. All these so-called bad things that are happening in the world, it eventually affects all of us. So that's why it's not a case of, oh, not my problem. No, we can't continue to have that attitude in 2017, which is one of the reasons I decided to do this video in the first place, because I realized that a lot of us are saying, oh, yeah, in Nigeria, or like, if you live in Lagos and they're bombing themselves in the north, you're like, oh, okay, they're bombing themselves. It has nothing to do with me. So, hey, they can kill themselves until it gets to Lagos, and then it's a Nigerian problem. So please, let's don't wait until the worst happens before we all come together and realize that, oh my God, we cannot continue to live in fear. No, we can't live in fear. We will live in love. That is what it is. We will live in love. And another thing I want to say, which was the good thing that happened in 2016, if you look back to 2016, in as much as a lot of weird things happened, where there was a lot of divisiveness and division amongst people, 2016 was also a year where love excelled beyond measure. People were crowdfunding for people they didn't even know, donating, giving, and making someone else's dreams come true. As in, people donated to different causes. that were separate from them. I remember even when one of the churches was burnt in, was it Mississippi or somewhere, everyone donated to have that church repaired. People are now donating to causes that shows that in the essence of who we are lovers and not fighters. And that is what we should carry on in 2017, to correct me. So I'm hoping that as we've gone through all of this, 2017 is a fantastic year for everyone, as long as we are willing to do the work in order to ensure that we have the necessary skills to be able to adapt to this future. Remember, guys, it was someone like you and I that invented technology. Technology didn't fall from the sky. We, the people, invented it. So we can't now run under our beds and say, oh my God, technology is taking over. No, we are still in control. We determine what happens to us, not technology, because we invented it. So that's why everyone has to begin to look inward. What can I, as a person, bring to the table as my own resource in order to see that we all, as a community, benefit from it? We have to go back to community, guys. We all, everything, we are the people. We are the people. So we cannot live in fear and then hold our heads and say, oh my God, we won't be able to solve the problems. No, that's not going to happen. So thank you guys. For the guys that stayed up until the end, I thank you. This is a new series. I've never tried this. I said this is a new goal. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this, but it is something that I'm going to try and do as much as I can in the coming weeks and months ahead. Happy 2017. I'm optimistic that this is a good year for everyone if you're willing to do the work, guys. This is an amazing year. Think about it. Like 2 years ago, who would have thought that I would be in my room speaking to whoever is willing to listen, wherever you are? By the way, I'm not even in Nigeria, but yeah, you can hear me. So think about that for a second. So we're not going to deny all the good things that technology in itself has brought to us, like being able to call up someone thousands of miles away and being able to speak to them, being able to actually see them in real time. That has been an amazing feat in itself. And so we can't say, oh, right, because technology has brought us all these good things and some bad things, we're now going to throw our hands up in the air and give up. No, we're going to find a way to evolve and innovate. And in that way, we're going to be able to be the people of the future. It's almost 20, I'm sure, yes, we're still in the 21st century, but very soon, everything is going to be computerized, people. Sometimes we might not be able to even have like a phone that you use your hand to do anything with. For sure, in the coming years, you probably need to speak to your phone and you do everything you needed to do without you even being in close proximity to it. That's where we're going. That's how we should be thinking. So thank you so much for watching this. I really, really appreciate everyone. Happy New Year, guys. I wish I could see all of you wherever you are, but you are in my prayers, and I'm hoping that this is our year, guys. This is our year, 2017 year. We're going to rock this year, as in grand style. See you guys later. I will repost this, so anyone that wanted to hear me rant can do that, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to do this more in the future. Bye, guys. Good night. Happy New Year.